Hello and welcome to yet another exciting episode of Churchill Show, Journey Series Edition. I'm so excited to bring you this edition today. This is RFU, Rugby Football Union. That's right, the home of Harlequins Football Club. It's so amazing to be here. First of all, Harlequins iko on Ngong Road. You all know Ngong Road. Na Ngong inaenda mpaka huko Ngong Town. Zamani hapo ndio ilikuwa inaitwa The Eye. Hapo ndio maji ilikuwa inapatikana, and from there you're able to see Rift Valley. That's why the name Ngonge, sijui engo ilitokea hapa, Ngong Road. And where we are, in Ngong Road ndio bado iko na War Memorial Cemetery on the road on your left as you head to Ngong. Before Karen, celebrating the 477 war veterans ambao labda waliaga ama makaburi zao zikupatikana. So that's why we have that war memorial. Hiyo ni historia fupi ya Ngong Road. Wachana kusema kwa mama Oliech mahali iko na mahali wanaweka viti. That's the beautiful story. And where we are, Harlequins, these grounds were donated by the government then, by Sir Heavenly Berlin in 1951. Like in the first game that was played was in 1955 between the British Lions and the East Africa team. And of course, ilifanyika hapa. AJS Singh, I think he was the one who was given the mandate to officiate the first match. That was then. A lot of games have been played here at Harlequins, and thank you so much, Harlequins management, for giving us an opportunity to come and shoot this amazing episode here, for maintaining the grounds and keeping utmost care for the grounds. Inakaa vizuri sana. Hapa during the shows inakuaga chaos. Hapa ndio home ground ya rugby. And today, there's no way we're going to celebrate this place than with the legend himself. This is the guy who brought us the World Rugby 7 Cup from the World Rugby 7 circuit, ilikuwa ya Singapore. We are talking about the enigma, the lion of Kenyan Rugby Sevens. We are talking about the coach extraordinaire, the one and only Benjamin Ayimba. My goodness, he has a story and enough. Why should I keep you waiting? Let's take a journey, the beautiful journey, the amazing journey of Coach Extraordinaire Benjamin Ayimba, because he is a real Shuja leading Shujas. Come along.
My name is Benjamin Ayimba, former Kenya Sevens coach. The initial bit was from 2006 through to 2011, and then took a hiatus, came back 2015 and 2016 season. So that's an average of about 7 years, not continuous, but that long as coach. I was born in Kibra in a family of 10 children, 2 mothers and 1 dad. We grew up in a very social environment where we learned how to share everything of ours. In our home, when we got up as boys, whoever got up first is the one who got the best socks or the best clothing for the day. So it was a very close-knit family. Mom later on moved out to Ayani Estate, which is not too far from where we stayed in Karanja Road. And during that time, Mom had introduced me to go into the showground whenever the show was happening. And she liked rugby a lot for a very hilarious reason, that she liked to see men running behind each other trying to find the pigskin ball. So one of these times she took me there. I took interest in the game. I was in Olympic Primary School where we didn't do much sport, and whenever we had the chance to play soccer, so I wasn't very good at it, so I never took any interest in it. Went through class 1 to class 8, and it was time to join high school. And high school was a beginning for a lot of things. First, it was independence for me, from being in a large family to being in a place where I was almost isolated. It was a place where I could express myself. I really wanted to see this new freedom that the high school provided. After my mom dropped me off, it was about games time, so I went back into the dorm, and when I came out, I was asked which sport I played, and I said rugby. Naturally, because it is a sport I was closest to, given that my physical attributes weren't very good for soccer or any other sport. So I went on to say rugby, and I joined the rugby team then. On the day I reported in school, which was the first day that we played rugby. There was a tackling session. And opposite me, with very little knowledge, was the best tackler in the school. He played a position called flank in rugby, and that is where you find the most notoriously aggressive guys. So it happened that when the time came, I was tossed to the ball and I held it very confidently and ran across. This guy picked me up and planted me on the ground, bottom first. And before I got up, I made life decisions. I decided to pass that pain to everybody I met in a rugby field until God took my breath away. Luckily, I stopped playing before God took my breath away. So that's a very definitive moment for me. I went to second form, started playing the game passionately. I was getting to understand it a little more. By the third form, when I was a senior player, by the end of that term, I became the coach because the coach had taken off and the form fours were busy. So there was nobody who could dedicate their time in coaching the team, so I took it up. The teacher who was involved with us came in a few times. He learned that I understood the game, so I took most of that mantle to coach the side. But it only happened that as I was coaching, I was learning as well. I left school having not won a title, so that carried on to more hunger to win. I joined Impala in late 1994. So I cleared exams and looking for something to do, then I hopped into Impala. That was, as they say, the beginning of another journey. So having left school in 1994, my drive was to always leave it, to go do better. I wanted to become a better Kibra man because friends wetu walichana veve. At that time Toivo was very big. Wakiamka asubuhi in the kitchen. So I used to wonder what kitchen is. Kitchen is where Toivo was brewed. So it was funny that I repelled that kind of life. My inspiration from Kibra, I want to say, from Karanja Road, was a guy called Omar Kasongo. He was a boxer, heavyweight boxer. The best athlete that, in my view, of that time. He was a disciplined guy, massive guy. We feared him, but was a very gentle soul. A Nubian guy who learned how to treat everybody fair. I'd wanted to be that guy. I'd wanted to be that Omar Kasongo. You know why? Omar Kasongo went to Commonwealth Games and Olympics and came back with gear, dressed up nicely in Kenya gear, and I thought, wow, that must feel good. And that drove me to think, I must wear this regalia. And in 1998, when I wore my first jersey to play for Kenya in the Commonwealth Games, there was the pride of representing Karanja Road and Omar Kasongo. So that, for me, was a huge inspiration. Because in my family, we were not very sporty. I was never an A student in school. When I left high school, it was a huge debate between my mother and myself, whether I wanted to go to college or whatever I wanted to do. When my mom got to hear that I never wanted to go to college and I wanted to do rugby, we fell out so badly, I had to move out. When I was about 20, I moved out of home because I didn't want to be squabbling with mom all the time and I wanted to follow my dream. So from that person who inspired me to play the game to the person who's discouraging me to play the game, simply because she thought there was no future in playing rugby. I rather talk about my dad, Joachim Ayimba, is a very strong character man. I think mainly I take a lot of his strength to run such a big family and do it at his best. This is one guy who was so strong-willed. There was never a time that we as his children felt, or me as his child felt, that he couldn't do something. Only later on in life when I become a dad, I know what difficulty he went through to be able to keep us together first and foremost and to be able to feed us, to take us to school. I think that strength he brought down to us, making us feel that there's no hurdle you can't jump. And when you jump that hurdle and find a puddle of water, you wade through it and come out of the other end having achieved that. So there's a lot of strength that was implanted in us without me actually knowing that he was doing that, and he did that with a lot of grace as well. Dad used to work for Kenya Airways for the longest period, as born while he was working for East African Airways, which changed into Kenya Airways and joined that and stayed there until 1995 when the first employees of Kenya Airways were asked to retire. So he retired with the first bunch. Mom gave birth to me when she was very young. She gave birth to me when she was 16. So that already was a challenge. And luckily, because there was many of us, we grew up as a family unit that was very close. So Mom learned a lot of raising me, doing the right things, teaching me how to stop stammering. She did that as somebody who's not trained, but as a mother. So she played a huge role in that. And of course, building the confidence, telling me, when you leave home, you must be well dressed. You must look like you're coming from a happy place. And that built a lot of character in me. I like to dress up. I like to look good. So that built that character, and I passed that down to my children and of course the teams that I coach. The other thing that I learned from my mom was be strong even in the dire situations. It's okay to cry, but be strong. It's okay to be weak, but in that weakness, be strong enough so that whatever hits you, you can still come up and fight. And I think that is something, that a mantra that I took going forward in my growth.
World.
Injera to take Kenya to the cup final, 40 meters out. It's climbing! It splits the post! Collins Injera, the hero of the hour.
Muscle up inside Kenya, and now they flood the breakdown, and it comes clear. This is going to be the dream start for Kenya. Oscar Ayimba goes in for the Kenyans. Scrum is good. The feet is sharp from Kenya. Dancing around is Lugonzo. Now switching to the rampaging try scorer Ayimba, and now they can clear to Wizard, the try-scoring wizard, Injera! Incredible! And on they'll come Kenya, rumbling! Injera! He nails it down. Kenya are bringing the noise in Singapore. Perhaps they go the direct route. Oh, you betcha they are! Kenya, the underdogs, are serving it up to the heavyweight champs. Kenya chasing their first ever cup win on the circuit. Going in and away here is Oyu. Oyu's got wheels. Oyu's got serious wheels. Oyu goes the length. Oyu will be a hero in Kenya if they can hang on. There is the Gonzo. There is the try scorer. He clears the pass as well. We're going to get another one for Kenya. It's Frank. Frank the Tank says, fill it up again. That's going to do it. That's going to do it. And this is why we just love sevens. It has taken them 114 tournaments to enjoy this moment. Kenya, congratulations. That was just awesome. There can only be one champion, and it is Kenya! Time to get your Kenyan on, folks. Enjoy. history has been made here in Singapore. Kenya are cup champions.
Unaona ile unajifikiria hivi yani you just go and sacrifice today na kufia team.
Do you know?
Yeah.
I hadn't had the halftime talk.
Pep talk, yeah.
So mimi nilienda nikaongea very quickly nikatoka.
Yeah.
Because there wasn't much to tell the boys at that point.
Yeah.
But do you remember Kolo telling guys, this is for your country, boys? You know, Dan, this country is bigger than anyone.
It's true.
And you never realize it until the day you sing the anthem. You know, people tear because they're emotional. They're missing their mothers. No. The weight of
at national assignment, you're missing your mother.
And your client.
Those tears, just take me through that motion.
Now,
what time? Yeah.
You know, when you hear first in an international stadium, those drums, the weight of the country lands on your shoulders. You're actually feeling the weight of the country on your shoulders. 50 million people sat on your shoulders. That is why you see guys, wakitetemeka, they really want that weight off. That is the, I don't know. It's an experience you can't really explain, but at my best is the weight of the country is on your shoulders and you have to redeem that country.
Oh my goodness.
When we came back, the president told us it is that weekend I realized the president is even a smaller job than you guys. He couldn't believe that the whole country is quiet because of one team. And that's when he hosted us, he told us that is why he respects our team. Because they've carried 50 million people on their shoulders. And it is their job to make sure that country becomes the best.
So now you win the trophy,
yes.
And the national anthem is played.
There's a pre-game one.
Yeah.
The whole country is on your shoulders.
Yeah.
And then when there's now for the achievement.
Yeah.
In rugby, we don't play afterwards. But I sat on the bench for another 6-7 minutes. I couldn't feel my body. I didn't know who I was. I didn't know where I was. Remember, Fiji beat us 70 points to 5 in '98 when I was playing, and that's where I vowed never to be shamed by Fiji like that again. We came close in Dubai in '99.
Yeah.
In 2009.
Yeah.
When we got to we beat them in the quarterfinals.
Yeah.
But this for me was God telling me it's time. We beat them convincingly, 30 points. That was anybody beating Fiji by 30 points has achieved something in his life.
Is that the time you feel like I not could retire? I've done my bit.
At that point, to be honest with you,
yeah,
I said this could be my time. This is the time I want to live, and I want Tol, I want Kolo, I want Akina Amonde to experience this in their lifetime. Not after many people have come and become coaches. Yeah. Those guys, and they're the only guys, by the way.
You think they're ready now, Kolo?
They're ready. Kolo has become the mature guy that he needs to be. He's got emotional intelligence. He's a good player and he understands the game.
Yeah.
He can make a very good coach. Tol can also make a very good coach. I don't know whether he has the time.
Yeah.
If Kolo comes on board with a guy like Andrew Amonde, and say who, Lavin Asego joins in the management, we are winning these cups on a daily basis. That one I can. That one I can put my money on.
That's amazing. Yes. You being able to pick someone who can succeed on that.
Well, that's
amazing.
It's because
that's amazing.
Not even to pick these players to win.
Yeah.
It took the same process.
Yeah. It's a process.
It's a process.
It's a journey.
I picked Kolo when he was 19.
Yeah.
And he's a superstar in the world at 34 by his own effort. I can't take credit for Kolo's growth.
Yeah.
I can only take credit for his guidance, not for his growth. He's grown like that because he wanted to. If you take the guys I'm telling you now, Kenya, you'll just be celebrating.
And we believe in them. It has to
yes. Yes. And you see, all you have to do with them is give them the mandate and allow him to pick his players. I assure you that.
Give the mandate and the money. Don't forget the money. Now,
the money, to be honest with you, the money comes later.
The money comes, I like that.
With performance, the money will follow you. It will run after you. Ask the guys who won 2016. Money was following them every day. Hey, guys, come pick money here. Oh, guys, come pick money. Oh, there, guys, the president needs to see you. It will follow you. But you have to put the performance. Because the president doesn't want to know. He knows a lot of rugby players. Why is he calling Dan and Benja to...
to State House?
Yes.
Yes. I get it.
Mm.
Is that the best performance? Is that your biggest achievement?
It is. By far.
After World Cup semi-finals?
No. My achievement was when we were going to beat Fiji convincingly. And it happened during a final. That is it.
Amazing.
For me.
And I want to hear more of that. Oh my goodness, you're watching Coach Maestro, Coach Extraordinary, Benjamin Ayimba. And I love the way you believe talent from wakiwa wadogo. Kolo at 19 years.
19.
And look at, he's a world superstar. Do people even know that?
No, I don't know.
Kenyans know that Kolo is an international.
There are places Kolo can't walk freely the way he was walking freely here.
Watch hapa Kibera.
Wacha hata hapa Kibera. Sasa ameenda kukula bandondo na best zake hapa. They don't realize who they sit with. They know, yes, this is Kolo, he's a national figure. But they don't realize. Yes, Yocheza Root.
Tell me about South Africa. It was 95.
No, this was 2015.
2015.
Yeah, this is my year back from the hiatus.
Ayimba. Oh, they've got men here. They've got a chance here. If they can straighten it. And did that pass go forward? Well, maybe not, because they've got the try. It's William Bucker.
Dan, I've never seen a ferocious team in my life. It's like that team I worked with in 2015, 2016.
Yes.
And thanks to Geoffrey Kimani, that man made those guys beasts. They would work hard throughout the game, throughout the day.
Who's Geoffrey Kimani?
Geoffrey Kimani is our strength and conditioning coach. People rarely mention him. But the reason why I mention Geoffrey Kimani is Geoffrey Kimani came into my team of coaching staff when nobody believed in him. He had come back from the States, qualified to do his thing. He was giving me his papers, and then I told him, I know what I want to ask you. Is this team, can it be faster and stronger? He told me yes. I told him, you are hired.
And he did that.
Geoffrey Kimani is the guru of strength and conditioning in this world, according to me.
So now it's a conditioning in Cape Town.
Conditioning,
people like Geoffrey.
Yes.
So it was sustained in the second half, because I can understand the pressure, because you're not going for tries.
Second half.
You're not going for tries. Mulienda could defend.
Could defend. They're coming to our chopper, they lose the ball. We take the ball again.
How was that pressure?
Man, it was crazy. I couldn't talk. I'm not talkative on the bench. But I was gobsmacked. I'm just saying, guys, we have to do this.
Hold
it.
Defend.
This is the death. The stadium went quiet for a minute. And then they erupted for Kenya now.
And we won.
And we won.
Was that the biggest win to Shafaya against South Africa?
The biggest. We beat
because
them
of home ground.
No, we beat them elsewhere. Where they have a pocket of supporters. 45,000. Everybody seated, making noise.
In Cape Town.
The stadium became empty as soon as we finished that game, because it was the last game of the day.
Africa to the world.
Churchill Show.
Well done. Well done. Well done. Well done.
My first real, I can say real encounter na Benjamin ilikuwa hapa the Rugby football grounds. I was playing a club game. I think we were playing against Harlequins. I had gone for that conversion. Kimbuka kicking that conversion from the corner, I managed to kick na nikaingiza. Somebody kwa stands akasema, "Young Tuck, endelea kucheza hivyo, endelea kukick kama hizo, very soon utajoin Kenya Sevens." Kuangalia ndo nikaona ule ni Benja yule coach wa Sevens. That is the moment I got called up kwa Kenya Sevens. As an individual, most of the milestones nimekuwa nazo kwa hii game, something funny Benja amekuwa involved kwa zote. My first ever top try scorer in the series back in 2009, he was the coach. Alinipatia hiyo chance winning a tournament as a team. He was the coach pia, alikuwa hapo ndani. So unazoona milestones mob sana, my first try. So all those milestones nimekuwa nazo kwa team. Unapata mtu kama Benja alikuwa involved. Naweza sema I think I'm very happy and glad that alinipatia opportunity. Nimekuwa able to achieve what I've achieved throughout the years, and I'm just happy that I was given that chance by him, and I'm hoping that pia mimi in future maybe I can be able to replicate that in terms of team camaraderie na kuelewana, understand players vizuri. I think Benja ni one of those coaches. Hii mambo ingine maybe anaweza kuwa amelack in terms of knowledge na vitu kama hizo, but in terms of just understanding player, unajua ile tu anajua mother yako, anajua brother yako, anajua mahali unatoka, ana understand tu life yako, where you're from. I think that is one of his key strengths. He really understands players na ana make sure pia akiwa part of that setup hakuna player hata jua mahali mwingine anaishi. So unapata kwa time tulikuwa tunakuwa na hizi, anasema saa tu tunakaa session. Nyinyi mnakaa session, mnadhani mmekuja kukimbia, hakuna kukimbia, mnapata mmekuja kanyama, anasema leo ni drinks. Mpaka mnashanga, drinks aje tena coach? Hii drinks tena sitatumesa. Mnapiga tu drinks na mnaenda home. Unaona vitu kama hizo pia inafanya players mnakuwa na hiyo psyche. Ama tu invite kwake, tunakaa kwake, tuna have a barbecue, tuna enjoy. Ama next time anasema tunaenda kwa player fulani. So mna mituko, mna enjoy. So unapata ni vitu kama hizo. Pia alikuwa anapenda hizi such like camps, tunaenda out of town. Si kila siku tuna train hapa. So unapata maybe asema this weekend tutakuwa huko Nandi. Tunaenda to these places and maybe players wengine pia wajui ni wapi. And you know pia ina encourage hiyo team bonding, so kwa sababu mna spend time kwa basi mkienda mkirudi, so mnakuwa tu together tightly knit as a group. Alafu pia yeye sio ati akiwaambia mna team bonding, yeye pia anakaa kando. Yeye ako ndani.
Benja is someone that I've known on and off the pitch for a very, very, very long time. I can't even try and put a year or a date of when we met, but we began as great rivals on the pitch. First when he was at Impala and I was at Kenya Harlequins. I later joined Nondis, and our rivalry continued while he was at Impala. And then he actually came and joined me at Nondis. In between that, we had stints in the national team. That's where our sort of interaction and friendship really became strong and tight. And I'm very proud to say that I was one of his troop under his leadership and captainship, both at the 7s and the 15s team. One of the most memorable moments, obviously, was going with him to the Commonwealth Games in Manchester in 2002. I remember when we beat Samoa for the first time. Amazing victory with the iconic Oscar Osir banging his hand on the turf. And it's always a memory that will stick with us, and we feel that we sort of paved the way for what the Kenya Sevens team is today. We then both got into coaching on opposite ends, but he sort of took more the national team setup, and obviously sort of changed the way Kenya Sevens was looked at. A very, very sort of energetic character off the pitch, a guy who sort of instilled a lot of confidence in his players. He was one coach who, and till today, gets his players playing for him. They make them believe that they can do the unaccountable, and it's a lot of sort of lessons I pick from him as a coach. Our latest sort of relationship became our stint at Queen's when I was head coach at Queen's 2 years ago. And I think I surprised sort of the Kenyan fraternity when I asked Benja to come here and be my assistant, and he willingly supported. And our relationship continued to grow. So it's been an amazing journey with Benja that has spanned sort of proof, this will just reveal our age, that has spanned over 20 years. And it continues to grow. And aside now from the rugby union, we are now sort of
leading the way in developing and introducing rugby league in Kenya, where we both sit on the board of directors, and we are leading that journey and bringing a new sport into the country, and just sort of getting more and more people involved in sport, and making sure that sport can become a livelihood in this country. So definitely Benjamin Ayimba, a great man on and off the pitch. Our friendship sort of ages like good wine, and I can't say much better words that can sort of fit this hero and this cult in this country.
I knew Benja from the time he was in high school. A great player coming from Western Kenya. And when he came to Nairobi, he settled at Impala Rugby Football Club. And watching him transform from being just an ordinary player to captain of Impala, captain of Nondis, captain of the Kenya national team, until he transformed himself from a player to a coach, and not just a coach for sevens, but also a 15s coach. He's been a captain and coach of the national 15s team, and captain of the sevens team, as well as coach of the sevens team. And it was a pleasure to watch him, commentate him, go around the world following him and seeing what he was doing, his achievements, both as a player and a coach. And I think the highlight of Benjamin's career was being a Kenyan coach who brought the first World Rugby Sevens title to Kenya. Winning the Singapore Sevens in 2016 was something that the population or the people of Kenya celebrated like never before, because it was a time that Kenya stamped its authority on the world, in the world of rugby, brushing aside New Zealand, South Africa, England, Australia. At that time, winning that Singapore Sevens, Kenya was second to none. Kenya was tops. And this is due to the hard work and the achievements of Benjamin Ayimba, a player, a gentleman par excellence, and somebody whose DNA is rugby through thick and thin.
Hey, Church, ni sahi, Churchill, sahi. Ah, Safi, good stuff, good stuff. Ushakoma wewe. Umeiba. Karibu ungue sasa.
But thanks so much kwa hii shati mase. There's a day I came hapo kwa uwanja nimeiva.
Umeiva
How's that? People were like,
when expect this jersey is when we started breaking through.
Yeah.
So I told the team and my people that we were going to win the World Cup in 2009.
Yeah.
This is part of that journey.
Oh my God.
Atlantic came on board,
Yeah.
courtesy of our director Sasha Mutai.
Yeah.
They brought us money that helped us build the team to what it was.
Yeah,
So it's that is a very out of the landmark achievements of Kenya Rugby Sevens.
Yeah.
This shirt plays a very big role.
And I appreciate.
Asante sana. Asante sana.
Ebu family, you never hardly talk about. Tell me, your family was supporting this story.
Yes, Mom was initially. Mom is the one who introduced me into the game. She took me to the showground when rugby was being shown as an exhibition sport. That's how I stuck.
Okay.
But later on, Mom is the one who said, no, I don't want this to happen. Let me shock you is, Mom had never watched me playing except once when we were playing Tunisia in this ground, and I jumped for a high ball, and when I came down, the guy cut me and I came down with a big thud. She was watching it on TV. So I was down for a minute. Mom could not take it. She went into a room and told my sisters, forget that madness. So my mom has watched me playing for 1 minute. In my whole career. Hajawahi kuja na hawezi kuja.
And now, but she's very happy now.
Mom is very happy. I think for her being a mom who gave birth to me when she was young, and me achieving all this, I think it made her very proud. Yes.
So proud of
Extremely proud, yes.
Now, hizi siasa za hapa maze. Leo mara huko, kesho huko, leta mzungu, toa hii. How do you manage all those politics?
What I try to do is separate the players from the running of the union.
Yes.
Because there's too much siasa there, and it's because everybody wants to be associated with the star. And unfortunately, by wanting to associate with the star, they interfere with the playing unit. And that's what makes us not achieve what we need to achieve. So if you separate that, like I'm very good at, then siasa huku ball huku. Yes. So when it gets to siasa, I'm the farthest the siasa goes to. My boys cannot be touched. In fact, I protect them with all my energy and strength. Yeah, and that doesn't go well with some of the board members.
That's why you have a very big connect.
Yes, with my players, it's the connect is very strong.
You go all over. You are the Zidane.
Yes. Yeah.
You go to get near family.
Yeah, because they trust also. They trust. They say, if I say, Churchill, are you going to sort me out? And you say yes. I'm meant to say, I'm looking down and following your footsteps. That's it.
I'm following you.
Yes.
Have you won?
Yes. Once the person's word is everything is got. So, and that is why when I give them a promise, I'll die for it. I'd rather be sacked from the union because I'm dying for that promise.
Of course.
Yes.
And that's why you have a very big support. Tell me about President Uhuru.
President Uhuru. Yes. You know, I've never met the president before.
Yeah.
So pre-game, I'm seeing my phone is ringing and I can't take my phone pre-game. So I leave it in the changing room. Only to know a little later, the president has called. He's called Singapore. He's looked for the ambassador who wasn't there in Singapore. Wasn't at the grounds. He was around, but he wasn't at the grounds. He's called everybody to try and find us, to tell us best of luck in that game.
Yes, the finals.
In the finals. Unfortunately, he doesn't get to talk to me.
Yes.
So frantically, at some point, a cameraman brings me a phone.
Yes.
Tell me, no, you need to talk to this guy. So I pick up the phone. It was Thomas Opio, Vice Chairman, Kenya Rugby. Telling me, you know, the president is calling you. I said, hey, boss, when I'm preparing for the team, even if Jesus Christ lands, we'll wait, then we pray. So for now, I'm taking care of the team. I'm taking care of the team. So that one went, and the team went and started playing. Now, the team played well, then he called us later, we had our time. But now he was explaining to me later on what was happening.
No, the president.
The president.
When he called you.
No, this is not after. This is after we land.
Yeah.
He said, I'm going to come and pick you at the airport, but he wasn't able to.
Yes.
So we land and he invites us to State House and tells us, you guys, I don't know why I've been thinking that the presidency is bigger than you guys. He was in Kajiado when the game started.
Yes.
And Big Ted was telling him of the scores. Yes. So he started 5-0, 10-0. When he got to 15-0, he started asking Big Ted, are you sure you're watching Kenya playing Fiji? Because he couldn't believe that.
Yeah.
At the same time, he told the driver, we must watch this thing.
Yeah.
So the car is flying. Yeah. So he gets halfway through and he wants to get off, and the security guys won't allow him. They said, no, we've not done our security thing. So he said, it's fine. You guys, your jobs depend on this thing, so you decide.
Get me to the State House.
He got to the State House. We were 20 points up. Yeah. He walked into the State House and there was nobody guarding there. No, he knows. He laughs about it.
Yeah.
Inside his area where he watches the game.
Relaxes, the TV room.
He told me when we finished playing and they had beaten Fiji that match, he jumped like a child. Now the guys who weren't protecting him,
the security,
are now jumping with him. Yeah, they've forgotten what their job is and supporting Kenya. Yeah, jumping with their boss. But luckily for us, he's a very good man, so we had a jolly good laugh. We had a jolly good laugh. And from that time on, we became very close. And you're asking why there's fights left, right, and center. We agreed on something about the money. We agreed on the money, and when the money came, it went straight to players. The union was not happy with me. They told me, we don't trust you. So I said, there's no problem. Yeah. Nenda zako,
Nenda
yes,
zako.
yes.
Now the rugby league.
Yes. Oh, yes.
Big thing coming up. This is the future now.
This is the future of my involvement with rugby, and I've come along with a few mates. You know Quicks very well.
Yes.
You know Charlie Cado very well. Yes. Rugby league is a sport played mainly in Northern England and in Australia. Yes. And we are built for it. This is the sport that will take us to the World Cup today, if we started.
We have the potential, we have the tunaweza.
It is not potential, we are there.
Yeah.
These players you see playing sevens, if we take them to a rugby league World Cup, they'll play very well. So it is what we're building now. Yeah. We have had a problem. 7 years we've been trying to get a certificate, but because of them thinking it is conflicting with rugby union, we've never been able to get it. So we got it last year in November, so we've started the planning now. So hopefully, the planning is going on, but hopefully tukimaliza with COVID, tutaingia straight to play.
Okay, let me tell you, you have my full support.
Asante sana.
Always. Mnajua the journey. Tumetoka mbali sana.
Tumetoka mbali, by the way. You
I
know,
want to take the kick.
Before you take the kick, people might not know how far we've come.
Yeah.
Other than, of course, the Masaku. They don't know how big you're involved in Masaku.
Masaku 7 years.
Masaku 7s grew mainly because you came in, and I've always liked how you've been involved in doing things and getting things done regardless of what's happening. And of course, my personal, there's a day I was in a corner and he gave me $250,000 without looking at me. Yeah, this is a kick to beat Argentina. Yeah. Yes. And then he got to the point and then he just turned.
He turned.
Yeah. And it took about 45 seconds.
Maybe